What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I figured today's thought of the day, I'm going to touch base on the inefficiency of steady state cardiovascular activity. And anytime I get caught up in one of these real world scenarios where some stranger stops me for some questions, I figured I would share the story here in hopes that we could all learn something. Now, occasionally, now that the weather here in Southwest Florida is cooling off a bit and we are technically out of summer heat, at night sometimes it gets down into the high 70s, nice and cool. And sporadically and intermittently, I would say realistically, maybe 2 to 3 times per month, I will go for a walk. And there's a sidewalk right outside of my house and it goes around the entire community, and the full loop is about 3.5 miles. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I don't do this for any form of exercise, as I do not consider walking exercise. I consider that rec leisure. I do not go on walks for any sort of exercise purposes or reasons. I do it for psychological reasons because it's cool outside, it's nice. I like to listen to music, maybe a podcast, just something to kill some time and get my body moving. But I went on a walk yesterday evening, and a lady walking her dogs was looking, and she's like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure, how are you?" And she completely bypassed anything pertaining to do with strength training. And she goes, "Wow, you look great. Your cardio must be on point. What do you do for cardio?" To which I wholeheartedly answered, I said, "I don't do anything for cardio. I strength train appropriately." And when you tell people this answer, it's almost as if you can see them not being able to process it. Because her rebuttal to that was, "Yeah, but when you do cardio, what do you do?" And I said, "I don't do any sort of steady state cardio." And she said, "Well, you're walking right now." I said, "Correct, but I'm walking for pleasure. I'm listening to music. I just like being outside when it's cool outside." And she goes, "Oh, so it's like you go all the way around?" I said, "I do." She said, "That's about 3.5 miles. I said, "Correct." She goes, "Oh, so you do that every day?" I said, "No, I probably do it once or twice a month. I don't perform any state of steady state cardiovascular activity. I strength train appropriately twice a week. Strength training cardio is built in." And again, she just kind of left with this disheveled look on her face, like she couldn't process that information. And especially with new clients, I've had, 3 or 4 new ones. The trainers out there know it's always a revolving door of people. Some people are going to stay, some people come and go. But the 2 questions I get outside of this: what do I do for my cardio? What do I do for my cardio? If you enjoy doing any sort of steady state cardiovascular activity for psychological reasons, by all means, I would never advocate against that. If you enjoy walking, if you enjoy cycling, if you enjoy swimming to cool off and be in a pool, great, by all means do that. But don't think that those activities are going to stimulate anything in your body that's going to force it to have to make an adaptive response or build any sort of lasting muscle tissue. Because it's not. Especially walking. Again, I would never advocate against walking, but walking as your primary form of exercise is extremely inefficient. Walking is so simplistic for your body. If you really think about it, you have been walking since you've been approximately 9 months to a year old. Walking is so easy, and your body is so efficient at it that it's never going to stimulate your body to make any adipose change or add adipose tissue, i.e. muscle mass. So remember, when it comes to any form of exercise, the only thing your muscles can do is produce force. When you are strength training appropriately, you are thoroughly exhausting your entire musculature from head to toe. When you are performing any form of steady state cardiovascular activity, you are performing a very low force velocity curve repetitively over and over, in which you are using predominantly only slow twitch muscle fibers. You are not tapping into any fast twitch muscle fibers. If you are walking, if you are an elliptical, if you are slowly riding a recumbent bike, it just isn't going to happen. And a lot of people think that cardio and strength training need to be performed separately for whatever reason. But here is what you need to take into consideration. And a lot of my female clients, I have to reiterate this to them over and over and over because they want the caloric burn. How am I going to burn my calories? How am I going to burn my calories? Here's what you have to take into consideration. There are 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So let's say hypothetically, you get on an elliptical and something that's a little above steady state. Let's say you're cooking on an elliptical. Hypothetically, you might emphasis on might be able to burn 400 or 500 calories in 45 minutes to an hour, and it probably won't even be that close, but I'm erring on the side of overestimation here. It's all in actuality, it's probably 200 or 300, maybe less. But let's say you burn 500 calories on an elliptical in an hour of your day. Okay, you are 1/7 of the way to burning 1 pound of fat. And the negative consequence to doing a lot of steady state cardio activity that people don't take into consideration is your appetite is then going to go through the roof, and chances are you're going to over-consume calories throughout the rest of your day, well above the 500 that you burned. But psychologically, you think, I got my exercise in, so I can eat this, I can splurge, I can have a treat, I can have a cocktail. And you're over-consuming, far over-consuming the amount of calories that you even burned off, wasting the hour of your time. And here's the beauty of properly performed strength training that a lot of people don't take into consideration. If you are training using high-intensity training principles the way we do here, and let's say for hypothetical reasons, you're doing the big five. You perform a pull-down, a chest press, a leg press, a row, and an overhead press. That is a great workout that probably hits 95% of your musculature. Maybe you throw in a bicep curl, a tricep, a calf, an ab. Let's say you do 8 or 9 exercises. Your body and your muscle tissue and your cells are broken down. So what's going to transpire after the fact for the next 24 to 48 to 72 hours is you are becoming a metabolic machine sitting on your couch relaxing, letting your body rest and recover, because your body has to recover all of the energy that it used during the workout, and then it has to supercompensate and add adipose muscle tissue because your central nervous system got shocked. When you are performing high-intensity strength training, you're doing it because you know you want to be healthy and you want to look good in a swimsuit or whatever your personal reasons are. When you perform high-intensity strength training, your body has absolutely no idea what happened, so it thinks it fought a bear and lost, and your DNA is trying to keep you alive. So it's recovering all of the things you broke down, and it's adding adipose tissue. So you are burning far more calories after a strength training session than you ever would doing any form of low-velocity, steady-state cardiovascular activity. Take that into consideration. So, to come full circle on this little message of the day, if you enjoy doing steady state cardio activity for psychological reasons, by all means, go do that. If it gets your head clear, is it good as far as releasing endorphins and dopamine? By all means, yes. If it keeps your psychological headspace good, then by all means do it. But if you think you're doing it for any sort of additional caloric burn or any health reasons, there really are very, very few compared to properly performed high-intensity strength training. Like I said in yesterday's video, properly performed strength training, there are absolutely no cons. The pro list is going to be very long, the con list is going to be very short and not very applicable at all. You're going to be burning far more calories. You're going to be adding muscle mass to your body. Muscle is metabolically active tissue that needs more calories to sustain itself. So the more muscle you put on your frame, the more you can eat throughout the day and remain lean without having to do the tedious amount of steady state cardiovascular activities. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope all of you have a blessed day. If any of you guys have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. If there's any other topics you want me to address, by all means, I'm happy to help you guys with anything you may need. I hope everyone has a blessed and wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Put high intensity strength training first on your list, and then if you want to go do anything else pertaining to low velocity, steady state cardio activity, by all means do that, but just know you're doing it for psychological reasons and your body doesn't really need it. Have a wonderful day.